So I thought I'd do this short and sweet episode about being honest, because this is something that I've found I struggled with very early on in my career, and something that you can simply change by being really open, vulnerable, and seeing it as a huge strength rather than something that is a weakness or something that you perhaps don't even feel you can do. You may not even be aware of it. But being honest with yourself really allows you to move away from this space of deflecting or highlighting flaws in others, and you're starting to remove that dishonesty. And it can feel as if we're protecting our ego and trying to stay away from showing our weakness from others, and we want to protect ourselves and not show people the real flaws that we potentially have. And really, being open and honest and vulnerable not only allows us to change, but to show others that we're able to change too. You allow yourself to go further into bettering yourself, and you have to have the courage to be able to be honest with yourself. It takes a huge amount of courage to be honest with yourself. So for me, when I was growing up, and even now, I catch myself doing it now, that I'm not fully honest with what I'm doing. It's because I'm trying to bury these issues that I may have. I'm burying the vulnerable parts of me that are the things that I need to improve on. And you may be doing that as well. So for me, when I was playing sport growing up, there were areas of my game that I knew I needed to get better at. And whenever a coach would bring it up that I needed to get better, I would find myself deflecting and saying, no, I don't need to do that. This was working. And I would either go to the things that I'm doing really well, which was fine, the fact that I was trying to positively reinforce, but I was being so stubborn. I was being so guarded with these elements that I truly deep down knew I had to be better at, but I was not willing to open up to trying something new to get better at them, because I didn't want to see myself as needing to improve. I wanted to feel like I was the finished article. I wanted to feel like I was successful in what I was doing, and I didn't want to give my weaknesses, my development areas, any time, because I didn't want people to judge what was going on. I didn't want anyone to judge those areas of me that perhaps I wasn't feeling strong about. Deep down, I knew I wasn't strong at them, and deep down, that was the thing that I was the most scared of. But by just being honest with myself, opening up to recognizing that I could be better at them, started to create a completely different landscape for myself. And then I was able to develop way faster than I was before, just by acknowledging these areas I need to be better at, just by acknowledging the things that I wasn't doing well. And it really is a fine line. There's a fine line between acknowledging and being honest with what you need to be better at and what you can be better at, and then beating yourself up and blaming yourself. So I'm going to run through a few things that I think you can just simply take to use to become more honest with yourself, and things to perhaps look out for. So things to see yourself doing and almost catch yourself doing before you find yourself not being honest or blocking and deflecting anything that is there to really help you and allow you to improve and develop. And I think the first thing to start off with is catching yourself when you're deflecting, catching yourself when you're moving or being self-defensive and defending your position, and perhaps you're even highlighting someone else's flaws. It is really about holding up a mirror to yourself, and you'll see that. So if you find yourself saying more often than not that you're trying to highlight other people's flaws or weaknesses, maybe to make yourself feel better, maybe to make yourself look higher up in the hierarchy of ability and the level of skill that you may have. So try to simply just catch yourself, whether it's saying things, it could be even thoughts that you're having, and see if you can stop them in their tracks. By just being aware of them, you're creating that first step to being able to do something about it. You want to also try and stop being so stubborn. I know that I was incredibly stubborn. Accepting that you don't know everything is so powerful. And even by simply verbalizing that you don't know something or you don't know everything can start to trigger that curiosity in you that will excel or create this sense of learning that you need and that growth that can happen. And listen to those people that are talking to you and try to figure out whether those people are talking to you from a place of wanting you to become better, or are they talking to you from a place of trying to almost be on top of you, in the sense of they're trying to shift themselves up the hierarchy. And you want to see if they have the best intentions for you, or whether they're really trying to make you feel belittled, feel smaller. So you can see what they're saying and actually listen to what they're saying, because perhaps you're being stubborn, you're being guarded and deflecting away from what they're saying, because you may assume that it's judgment. You may assume that it's them judging what you're doing and who you are as a person, and that's highlighting a part that your ego isn't happy with. And alongside that, you can bring that person that potentially is talking to you that you're maybe keeping at bay, keeping at arm's length and being stubborn about, and someone who's coming to you with the development areas or the issues that you have, or an area that they have seen that you could become better at, that area that you're protecting because deep down you know it's the thing that you should be getting better at. If they're coming to you with the problem, ask them what the solution should be. Bring them into your team. You can instantly turn a perceived enemy into an ally. So as well as it being someone who, if you feel like they're passing judgment, or you feel like they're critiquing you to a point where it makes you feel of less value and of less worth, then ask them what the plan would be to get out of this problem that you have, this issue that you have, and you start to create that plan, that roadmap for becoming better. And hopefully that they are wanting you to be better, especially if it's something like a coach or a friend or a colleague or a teammate. They're hoping, they should be working with you to make you even better than you were before. So if you're not sure of what the plan should be, ask them, bring someone else in. It can be that person, it could be someone you trust, it can be a family friend, it can be a partner, it can be, again, a teammate. Bring someone into the plan so you don't do it alone. But it all stems from being able to accept what they're saying, accept what they're talking about, being open and honest with yourself, so that you can really listen to the words that are coming, listen to the advice that is being said to you, and what you can do with that. And like I said, bring them in, make them a part of the team so that you can do it together. Lastly, well, I think this could be lastly, but be open to being wrong. Be able to drop your ego. Be comfortable with dropping your ego. Admit that you've made mistakes. Trust that by doing this, it will allow you to be a much more compassionate person to not only yourself, but you'll actually inspire others to do it yourself. It's really powerful by admitting you're wrong, admitting your mistakes, and admitting that you can be better and you've not done something right. If someone sits there to try and just bash you into the ground and make you feel lesser of a person, then that's definitely not someone you want to be around. That's not someone you want to associate yourself with. But other than that, more often than not, by just simply being open to being wrong and saying, yeah, I can develop that, I can get better at this, that will inspire others to do it around you. And you may even find by just simply doing it, and if you see this issue in someone else and you wish you were saying, oh, I hope they just need to hold a mirror to themselves, it's them that's the problem, it could be you that could be the one to unlock it by just simply showing them that you can do it and how to do it. That allows them to feel, okay, this is something that I can do, and I'm going to do it as well. And you can almost champion that movement in your own community, in your own team, and in your own space. So see if you can be the first one to drop that ego, acknowledge when you're wrong. And linked with this, finally, I would say, don't beat yourself up. It's super easy to run that line of blaming yourself and over critiquing yourself. So make sure that you're not falling into a place where it continuously falls into it's your fault, it's your blame, and you don't beat yourself up. We have this heavy negative bias. So when you are being honest with yourself, it's making sure that you are still using your positive self-talk, you are using positive mantras and talk around yourself that's building you up, so you don't fall into over analyzing, so over judging, over beating yourself up, just completely and utterly beating yourself up, because it's so easy to do that in the world we live in. So making sure you have this nice little balance of both being honest with yourself and also pumping up your own tires at the same time. So there you go. Hopefully this has given you something to think about. Maybe this could be that one key that is going to unlock the next level of growth that you have as an athlete, and not only as an athlete, but as a person as well. So if you have found that something like this has helped, or you've had a story where you've been honest with yourself, where you perhaps weren't as honest with yourself, reach out to me. Find me on Instagram at Lewis Hatchett. Find me at my website, lewishatchett.com. You can find the podcast there, lewishatchett.com/podcast. Reach out, connect with me. I'd love to hear your stories and then be able to share them either on social media or on the podcast in the future. So yeah, if you've had these stories of being honest with yourself and it's been the turning point in your career, in your life, then I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. I'll catch you guys later.